Hello, Buckeye Nation, and welcome to Buckeye Football Fangirl. My name is Lisa, and I'm the gal behind this channel, and today I am joined by a very special guest. Some of you guys know him as Florida Corey or FloCo. I know him as Boyfriend. Corey, how are you doing today?
Packers lost. They were down 28-0 and lost 31-29. That's the kind of loss it was.
Ouch!
Mm-hmm.
So they were mounting a comeback there.
Oh, they had a million chances to win this game, and they shot themselves in the foot left and right. I just wanted to. It's like, oh, look, we got the ball back. We can come back and score and get a touchdown and win the game. Oh, fumble. Oh, look, interception. Oh, look, drop pass. Oh, okay. Good God, guys.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's just a game.
It's one of those.
I'll be over it by 2 hours. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for jumping on to record with me despite the Packers losing. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy chatting Buckeye football with you, and we have a lot to talk about with this game that we had yesterday. Before we dive into that, I want to just thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for giving us part of your time this week and joining us on this show. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know a lot of you bleed scarlet and gray just like I do, just like Corey does. And it's really fun just getting to connect with everybody who tunes into the show. And I love the conversations that we get to have around Buckeye football. Before we jump in and give our thoughts, I'd love to hear any of your thoughts as well. So drop us a comment below. Let us know, what did you think of that game yesterday? And let's jump into it. So, Corey, what did you think of that game yesterday?
No, I don't understand. It's like we can't. Don't get me wrong. The end result was fun. We ended up dominating the game.
Yes.
The defense got to correct. Now, don't get me wrong. Second half, they just like Marshall. They played a lot better.
Yep, they picked it up and kept it going.
That first half made me want to puke. And people, well, they only scored 7 points. They were driving twice and they fumbled twice. And
they did. Those big mistakes killed them. Absolutely killed them.
Don't get me wrong. We caused the fumbles. It's not like, I hate when people say it's lucky. It's not lucky. These are trained. I mean, Ice Shark, and his name is Dan. He has his own podcast, said this on Twitter. He's right. These are trained techniques, such as Jordan Hancock stripping the ball on the receiver, going down and then hitting the quarterback and causing a fumble. Those are things that the defense are trained to do. So opportunity. You have to be opportunistic as well as stifling. But I'm sick of seeing people run wide open in the zone. It's been 2 weeks now. People are just running wide open. Now, granted, Marshall was more press coverage. This was a lot of zone, and people were running wide open. I thought Iggy was getting cooked a little bit in the first half.
Yeah, they were picking on him too. Absolutely. I think a lot of teams know that if they throw the ball his way, that I don't know.
Well, he's supposed to be a first-round draft pick type player too, not just Denzel. And nobody throws at Denzel. And
no.
So you got to.
Because when they do, he intercepts it and takes it from him.
Yeah, even when they completed on Denzel Burke in the second half, or you and I were talking about it, it's just good offensive catch.
Yeah, Denzel was wrapped around that receiver, and he just caught the ball. Sometimes that happens.
Linebackers still look clueless most of the time. Man, don't get me wrong, a couple nice plays from Cody Simon. The 4th and 1 stop was huge.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Exactly. Arvell Reese getting a lot of play. Very well started the game. He's on the field first play.
And he looks good.
He does. I'd say he's still not like a playmaker, but steady. Styles is just lost half the time. It's driving me nuts to watch him just take the wrong gap and over pursue. It's like driving me nuts. Although I will say that Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom absolutely came to play. They were
my goodness, yes.
And the defensive line, second half, they got a lot of pressures. First half, Childs could just sit back there, do his taxes, make a sandwich and whatever. It's a little bit frustrating at times. I don't understand Noel's game plan on that, but we played a lot of 4-3. It seemed like yesterday. A lot of more. We're playing a lot of containment without Childs who can run the ball a little bit. We also spied him early on. I could see Sonny was spying him from the word go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like his feet beat us that badly that game.
No.
But again, he's just people just running wide open
Mm-hmm.
in the first half. But overall, the defense ended up playing another pretty solid game. They just need to get off to a faster start. We can't have this against better teams. It just absolutely cannot let Penn State, Nebraska. I don't expect Iowa to get off to a fast offensive start, but Penn State or Oregon or Nebraska.
Oregon, yeah. That one's right around the corner now. I can't believe that game is 2 weeks away.
It's going to be a tough one.
It will be.
They're playing about the same as we are right now, I'd say. So
yeah. I know they've had some struggles in some of their games too, but it looks like they're putting all the pieces together, and it'll be quite the clash when we meet up with them. But I agree with you. Defense, I'd love to see them get off to a faster start. Overall, I mean, when we walk away from a game like that and the opposing team only scores 7 points, I find it hard to get too mad at them, because in the end, they ended up holding it together. They held it down. Even the backup defense, when they got in, there was like a play or two where Michigan State took the ball and made something out of it, but they didn't score again. They seemed to kind of step in and pick up right where the first team defense left off, and I think that's pretty promising to see.
Yeah, I think that what's promising about it is some of the young players are making some plays. Gabe Powers had a nasty hit in the middle of the field.
That was brutal. Oh my goodness. Just hearing that through the TV screen, it was just like, whoa.
The problem is we don't see it that often from our linebackers anymore. I kind of miss that. It's on top of that, Caden McDonald's a guy who just needs to play more. And, when he was recruited by Ohio State, and we kind of sneaked him, I guess is the word, out of Georgia. Many people were wondering how in the heck we got him out of Georgia without Georgia coming calling. And he could easily play for the Bulldogs very easily. He's a very good player. So he didn't start. I think Malone started. Hero Canoe got some play. That was smart to not have Tyleik Williams. We'll talk about that. He's needed for next week. But
let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, he was cleared to play, but he wasn't. They just said no, don't worry about it. Don't play this week. And the three guys, Malone, Hero Canoe, and McDonald, held down for it. But McDonald needs a bigger role. I think anybody can see it. He just needs a bigger role.
Well, I know they are kind of saving Williams and hoping that he recovers all the way and is ready for some of these big games that we have coming down the stretch. I mean, we got some big ones coming up. Iowa next week, Oregon the week after that. I think we have Nebraska after that, and then Penn State. It's going to be a brutal, next 4 weeks of football coming our way. So should be interesting, should be fun. Let's talk a little bit about the offense, because the offense definitely, they came to play yesterday.
Yeah, Will Howard, outside of 2 throws, continues to make good decisions. He doesn't throw the deep ball extremely well, but I guess you don't really have to when you got Jeremiah Smith, Cyborg, over in the side there.
It's just like, he's crazy. He's so crazy. 2 one-handed acrobatic catches in one game. Like, what are we going to do?
The first one, if you look at the replay, the defender's hand was all over the face mask. And he still caught it. So, I mean, he's just a freak. He just is what he is.
He really is.
He's not the best ever at Ohio State yet because he hasn't played long enough, but he is the most talented wide receiver in Ohio State history, and that's a fact.
And as a freshman, too. That's the thing. True freshman, he's 4 games in and already looking to blow the freshman touchdown record out of the water. I think he only needs 2 more or something like that. That's insane.
I did the numbers just for the regular season. This doesn't count Big Ten title game if we get there. This doesn't count playoffs or anything like that. He's on pace for the regular season to do 57 catches, 1,092 yards, and 15 reception touchdowns.
Wow. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
If he pulls that off to even close to that, that'll never be a touch to go another freshman receiver ever again.
No, we are seeing history being made before our eyes, and it's incredible. I mean, and that's just one of our record-breaking wide receivers. I mean, Emeka Egbuka is still on track to hit that wide receiver receiving, like total career receiving yards record out of the water, he needs, I did the calculations yesterday, like 66 or 67 yards per game of the regular season to surpass that record. And then if you count any of the postseason games too, I just don't see how he doesn't blow it out of the water.
Yeah, he's on pace. I did his numbers as well. I think he's around 61 or 62 catches, like a little over 1,000 yards, and only 6 touchdowns. But that's because he only has 2 right now. I could pick it up. I have a feeling Smith is not going to reach 15, and Mecca's going to have more than 6. So yeah. I think I'm going to be closer together on that one. But Tate also on average pace for 42 catches, about 700 yards. So.
Yeah. And I mean, Carnell Tate considered wide receiver 3, but he is just killing it too. He came in so clutch yesterday, especially because the Mecca had those 2 drops early on in the game, which was very uncharacteristic of him. But, Tate just stepped right up. He hauled it in when we needed him to. He made a huge impact early on in the game and kept things flowing. He is a great blocker. You've been talking a lot about the wide receivers blocking overall, and it just continues. I saw, the TV broadcast was showing some of that fire between Emeka Buckeye in Michigan State and then Jeremiah Smith in Michigan State, and I don't know, I just love to see them all fired up like that.
This team's definitely different than it's been in years past. It's definitely more physical, tougher, more out to prove something, not going to get pushed around. Sometimes it looks that way with the defensive line, I'll admit, but overall, they don't back down.
They don't. I'm having so much fun watching them. Offense, defense, shaky at times, but overall, I'm just soaking this season up because we are seeing, not only history being made with some of these players that are on the field, but this is a great start to the season. Again, we're heading right into the tough stretch, so it's about to get real interesting over these next few weeks, which with that, let's talk a little bit about Iowa and what we might see from Iowa next weekend. So Iowa, coached by Kirk Ferentz, he's been there forever and ever, I think since 99, which means since I was in 5th grade, which is pretty crazy when you think about that.
Iowa's the Pittsburgh Steelers of college football. Ironic because they have the same colors.
It is ironic, huh?
Yeah, but Pittsburgh never fires their coaches. They just hang on to them forever. Tomlin's been there forever. Cowher was there forever. And then it was Chuck Noll before Cowher. Kirk Ferentz, I think, took over for Hayden Fry, or it might have been. I just can't remember if it was Hayden was in the early 90s or late 90s.
I wouldn't know. I was involving it back then.
They rarely hire new coaches. And even though that looks like the game is kind of past Kirk on a few things, like especially offensively speaking.
A few things there. They're a little bit better this year on offense, but they're not known for having a super strong offense.
And he had to fire his son. So anyway,
finally.
Yeah, it was rough. Iowa's offense used to be offensive to watch. You take the punt and what you want, but it was bad. And I remember watching them even against Michigan's really stout defense, which, by the way, Michigan quietly defense not elite this year. They're 43rd in the country, I think, right now. Michigan's defense.
Are they?
Yeah.
Gross.
We're actually number 2, even though it doesn't feel like it.
Yep. We are number 2.
It doesn't feel like it, but we're there.
Yes, we are.
But ironically, Marshall scored the most against us. Anyway.
Isn't that crazy? So crazy.
But Iowa's defense is usually really stout. Obviously, it'll be the first. I think it'll easily be the best test of our offense to date. Not even close. And it's not even they do anything that special. They usually just have solid athletes on the back end. They usually have a good pass rusher, and they usually are just really gap assignment sure. They make their assignments simple enough to where it's hard to screw up, and they just got to be in the right position at the right time, which is so key going against a Chip Kelly offense because he's going to be motioning everywhere. People are pulling everywhere. They're going to be trapping you inside. You could easily get out of position. So we need to have, or they obviously need to have complete gap assignment against us. So, and it would be a great test, and I'll be interested to see how Chip Kelly attacks it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so right now, like you mentioned, Ohio State's defense is ranked second in total defense. Iowa is 16th in total defense. So it's quite the showdown there. Two top rated defenses there. When you look at the offensive side of things, Ohio State's currently ranked fifth in total offense. Iowa, on the other hand, is ranked 65th in total offense, which
It's an improvement for them, actually.
a huge improvement. I mean, their defense, has historically, in a lot of games scored more than the offense has. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Of course, they have Cade McNamara at QB, which still gross. He has taken, I think their QB last year had like a 47% completion rating, and I think Cade's at about a 65%, which again, still not great, but a step up for them offensively.
65 is pretty solid. 65 pretty solid.
It's like, I don't know. I don't think it's
I mean, to put in perspective, Will Howard's at 68 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes.
And I know you don't want to give another team credit. I get it, but
I don't, especially a former TTUN player.
Well, he doesn't like Michigan anymore. But
I still hold it against him.
All right, well, fine. I'll speak on this. 65% is generally pretty standard for a solid quarterback.
Okay.
If you're in that 70 to 75% range, you're doing really well, or the offense is just catered to short dump-off passes that are easy to complete.
Yeah.
I'd like to see his yards per attempt to see if that 65 is even better than what
I don't remember what it was. Nah.
Because if his yards per attempt is in that 9 to 10 to 11 range, then 65 is really good.
Yeah, but, I don't remember what it was. I do know, though, people are talking about their running back. And so
the running game's excellent, yeah.
Yeah, he's been garnering a lot of attention. He has, I wrote it down, 685 yards so far this season. So that's nothing to laugh about, for sure.
No, it's not. They have an excellent run game. Going to really test our defense quite a bit. That's why we need Tyleik. That's the sole reason they kept Tyleik out last night. They're like, just wait till Iowa, dude.
Yeah. So Caleb Johnson, their running back, will probably be, that's the matchup to watch, I think. Just Caleb Johnson, and hopefully our defense can step up and make the plays that they need to make and stop them.
Yeah, you're probably going to not see a lot of pin your ears back pass rush from JT and Jack Sawyer. I think last night against Michigan State was a good example of when they're able to pin their ears back, they can get to the quarterback. In fact, JT got out of a cannon a couple times and got to him. The issue is we have to play a lot of containment because a lot of running quarterbacks really hurt us. And on top of that, a lot of these teams are trying to run against us. So Iowa's going to try to run against us. You're not going to see they're going to try to set the edges rather than pin their ears back and go. The issues for me are the linebackers going to step up and be in the right gaps. So I could actually see Caleb break off a couple of big runs. I could see it being frustrating at times because Sonny or Cody or Averill or whoever are out of. I almost think of Avril Lavigne when I say that. I'm aging myself there, but are out of gap. Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom are going to be so key in this game. They're sure tackling.
Oh my goodness, yes, they're going to be huge.
And they're great at taking out the bounce out from the running back at the middle stuff. He tries to bounce it out. Caleb takes it, comes down in the box, or the backside pursuit. It'll be interesting to see how often Jim Knowles likes to blitz him and play him in the box. Caleb Downs came down in the box. It felt like I don't know the numbers, but it felt like quite a bit against Michigan State. I think I was even mentioning to you when we were talking about it last night. Like, oh, Caleb's like on the line of scrimmage all the time.
Yeah, he was doing great.
Oh, he was a silver bullet of the game. So we had a great game. Caleb just continuously gets more and more comfortable with the defense and gets better and better. And we get him for another year after this year. So you'll see Caleb and Malik Hartford probably next year starting. And
that's gonna be fun.
Be interesting to see Hartford's growth. But fact, it's funny is for all of you who don't know, I was asking Lisa, who's number 9? Because I didn't know Hartford had changed his number to 9, and she had to look it up for me real quick. But
I did. I always have my roster handy because I like to know who it is.
they always change their numbers now, and I'm just like,
They
I
do.
don't know who that is. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how they play them. If they come out, I wouldn't be surprised to see the same 4-3 look next week. With
Mm-hmm.
Alvaro Reese playing a lot more in the middle there, so it'll be interesting. All I know is the linebackers going to step up next week and and be correct in their gap assignments.
That they do. That they do. We got to see those linebackers step up. We got to see, the overall defense just not starting sleepy. That would be great to see. And then I don't think we have to worry about it if we see those things. I think our offense can, even though Iowa's got a great defense, I think that our offense will still be able to get things done. I mean,
Yeah,
Iowa's
but
defense right now is, I think, third in scoring defense. I wrote it down. They're averaging 13 points per game for their defense, which,
really
yeah,
good.
that's pretty good, pretty darn good. So if there is another interception, while we don't want to see it, it's Iowa. That's what they're known for. I'm kind of bracing myself a little bit for that, just setting expectations. But again, I think that our offense will be able to do enough, and I think the Bucks got this game.
Yeah,
It's going to be a good one.
Will can't be throwing into double coverage anymore. That was already
No, no, not against Iowa. I mean, not against any of the future opponents, period. But yeah, especially not against Iowa.
that was ugly. But the problem with Iowa is they're going to play. They love to play ball control offense to keep us off the field. The issue is that we can't have them shorten the game. So
Mm,
defense, more than anything, has to keep them behind the sticks and get get off the field on third down. Um,
yes.
you can't allow 5, 6, 7 yard runs first down. You can't. You got to keep them at 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7, and then force them into a little bit less manageable third down. So you try to get off the field.
Yep.
But again, I mean, if you don't get off if they fail to do that, Iowa's going to keep this close because we're going to have to make every offensive possession count, and there's no room for error the less you're on the field. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. That'll
you know, like
definitely be key.
like you said, fast starts is absolutely key. You can't come out flat. You have to come out ready to hit somebody.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about the game. What do you think Iowa's going to throw at us? How do you think this game is going to go? Drop your comments below. I love reading through all of them. I try to respond to every single one as well. It might take me a day or two because things get crazy, but I do appreciate everyone who's tuning in, everybody who comments. Thank you so much. We're going to try to keep the show a little bit on the shorter side, but do you have any final thoughts, Corey, before we wrap it up?
If they come out the next 4 games and go 4-0 and they end up being 8-0, that'll be the second quarter of the season. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that'll be the second third of the season. Um, I think that's going to be the huge battle test to show how far this team can go. So
Yes.
it's just. I mean, Penn State, Oregon alone are tough, but Nebraska's really come on and be a sneaky tough game. Nebraska's not. It isn't Scott Frost anymore, guys. This Nebraska team's tough.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Matt Rule has been doing a great job there.
He does. And
Indiana's going to be a
Dylan Raiola's a nice quarterback.
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, we have Indiana coming up in the far third of the season, but that could be a sneaky tough game too. So, they got their
Indiana
work cut
should be
out for
ranked.
them.
Indiana
Yeah.
should be ranked, and of course you got the game in there. So that being said, like I said, Iowa's a team that could. Iowa's not a team that like strikes fear into your heart when you think about them, but they are a team who can upset you.
Yeah.
And the rest of those 3 games, to me, outside of that, Nebraska is a team that can upset you. Oregon and Penn State could just straight up beat you.
Hmm.
So it's gonna really dictate see how far and how tough this team is.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I'm so excited to see them play. I'm so excited to see what happens over these next 4 weeks. I'm definitely going to be soaking each and every one of these games up because the season always flies by. I mean, look, we are already into that, second third of the season and things are definitely ramping up, but definitely soaking up all this time to watch these incredible Buckeyes play. It's been a lot of fun. All right. So tell everybody, where can they find you online?
At Scarlet Great CT on X, I guess that's pretty much all. I'm on the OHIO podcast on Sundays, live. So if you want to check that out, have at it.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Check that show out too. The OHIO podcast guys always do a live Sunday evening show. You can tune in on any of their platforms, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you find them. You'll find links to this show and you can tune into it. It's a really great show. So thank you everybody again for joining me. That's all we got for you this week, and we'll see you on the other side of this game. OH.